gosh, I'm never having the scars again. Oh, hello, welcome to PSGL. I didn't see you there. This is the Circuit de Paul Ricard in the south of France, host of the sixth round of the 36th season of Premier Sim Gaming Leagues. I'm your host, Otaku Logan. I'm joined by T-Dub. This is PlayStation Formula 3. How are we doing today, Dub?
I'm okay, not too bad. Glad to be back. We're at France. We're reaching the midway point of the season, and at a circuit that is no longer on the calendar in real life and wasn't last year either.
Yeah, it's still in the game. If that's in the game, where's Sepang? Where's Hockenheim? Where's Nürburgring? Come on, Codemasters, answer us. But we have a full house tonight for, honestly, not one of the favoured tracks off the calendar, but it seems like everyone's ready to go after seeing the heroics of Carlos Sainz. Let's hope they've all had their appendixes removed.
That little bit of weight saving is going to come in handy for some of those drivers, you would imagine.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I didn't have my appendix removed. I really should, though, after seeing that. Anyways, seeing all the drivers coming out, we have a full house, as we said. Notable exception of Brando. If you switch to the stream involving Jess and James, you will see that he is absent. He is now in Formula One. Congratulations to him, but that means the door is open for everyone else to have a shot.
And it also opens up a seat at the Scuderia taken by Luca Rapassa, who we have seen slightly fatefully earlier on in the season. But jumping ship.
Yes, he was in pole position at Monaco, just next door from Le Castellet. Unfortunately, he crashed out after 2 or 3 laps, which was quite shocking, but what a heck of a race it was. We see the two passes who need to do better in real life, in all honesty, making their way across this track, which has 247 possible configurations. Opened in 1970, 15 turns this track uses. Halfway down the Mistral Straight, you have that. Wait, is it called the Mistral Straight? Yes. It's the one where I thought I got mixed up with Monaco. It has a chicane in the middle, which chops and changes. I wish they had different versions of that in this track, in this game. 5.842 kilometers, 3.63 miles for those of you using the Imperial system. It's hosted the French Grand Prix 18 times. The first time was in 1971, and the last time was, of course, in 2022, which was won by Max Verstappen and was obviously known for the "No!" by Charles Leclerc. I'd like to apologise if I broke anyone's eardrums, but it is a true fact. But here we have Lifeboat coming through the first corner, or say first 2 corners, now coming through the edge of this track and making his way round down to the Mistral Straight. Lifeboat, of course, I believe has won twice this season. However, is not leading the championship, unlike certain F1 drivers.
We've had the second Haas of Owen behind that I've just been watching have a big moment going through turn 6. Hugely fortunate not to invalidate the lap time. Would have been a terrible start to the session, but it is the two Haas's leading us in formation. If you look at the minimap in the bottom right, though, a lot of drivers have been backing up in that final sector. That could pose a bit of an issue later on as we get to the business end of the session.
Yeah, it's doom and gloom in the air right now. You can see there could possibly be rain. That's probably a virtue signalling from all the drivers coming out, but it is starting to actually look brighter, if all due respect. So Luca Passer and Nico about to start their lap. I think the first driver across the line will be Angelo in the Ferrari. No, sorry, not Angelo. It is Lifeboat. Sorry, I got confused because that Luca Passer was crossing the line. I forgot he was on the out lap. So Lifeboat sets a 1:28.684. His teammate, Ian, says a 1:29.049, about 3.5 tenths off the pace. And then we got yellow flags, just ignore them. There goes Angelo to the top by about 31 thousandths.
Yeah, very close at the moment. A couple of drivers have already invalidated, notably Caracelli in the Mercedes, as Giovanni now goes to the top, puts a 1.5 between himself and Angelo. The difference between the two Haas drivers will, of course, be that mistake by Owen in sector number 2.
7 drivers have set a time so far. Make that 8, 9, Tiago is coming into the pits. Yeah, it's getting much brighter now, so I don't think rain will be in the question anymore.
Yes, the sun just peeking through the clouds, you would say. 10 times so far, 50% setting lap times, 50% failing. Another couple of drivers that haven't validated. Both McLarens unable to get their first flying laps in. Coolman did actually do a 28.7, which would have been fairly competitive if he managed to keep it within the track limits. Lorenzino also invalidating. The two Saubers not making particularly good starts, with Nico also having that bright red minimap because you have exceeded track limits.
Look, Rapaz are coming to the line. This should be a good lap from the driver who set pole. In fact, it's 27 thousandths off the top with a 1:28.535. And it will not be toppling Giovanni yet. Still at the top. Need to get into the fours, I presume, if you have any chance of achieving pole here. And I think that'll do it for the first bundle of laps, if I figure it out correctly.
I think there'll be a couple of drivers that are a little bit disappointed. He's the only driver remaining on a lap that hasn't invalidated it, but Sem, only 8th at the moment, half a second down on a 29.0. That's not going to be good enough at all. Big gap between 7th and 8th. Jesler putting in a solid lap just outside the top 5. Ale Marciano, who we saw for the first time last week, continuing some pretty decent form up in 4th on a 28.6.
Yes, we have a couple of new debutants here. We have Nick in the McLaren, and we also have Darth FIFA in the Aston Martin. So, welcome to you guys. I believe that's them all. Yes, that's all the debutants for tonight. Full house, as we have said. So, halfway through the season, lots of rejuvenated focus after Brando's promotion to F1. Actually, I'm just going to check how he is doing. Go ahead.
We can get a live little update. Everyone back in the pits, though. Almost everyone. Luca Rapassa still out there on the circuit. Everybody getting ready to go for their second runs of the session. Be interesting to see who decides to put on a brand new set of tyres and who stays with the scrubbed ones that they used earlier on. Because I think we will see the soft tyres in the race because we have seen quite a few safety cars in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, and that can always twist the race up to the disappointment of many, except us watching. Nick making his way out, trying to set another lap after deleted his first one for overshooting the track limits. We don't want to be seeing that now, do we? Uh-oh. Don't get a penalty now. Alright, he's not close enough, he'll be fine. Because usually you get a penalty if you block in quotation marks, for your driver being behind you, and you usually get a 5-place grid penalty, which is absolutely unfair because he's not doing anything of the sort. As you can see, yeah, he won't get a penalty for that. They're side by side. He's actually letting him through. Just being on the safe side. He's got 10 minutes to set a lap. And that in front of him is Angelo. Angelo, who has done some pretty good work in the weeks. He's won one race and finished second in another. That's the only times he's scored, just like Lifeboat, who the only points have come as race victories. One in Australia and one in Monaco.
It's been so interesting, some of these, the lack of consistency for a lot of drivers in there, because Angelo's another one who's picked up a first and a second, but not a lot else to go with it. Brando, who obviously we're missing, been much more consistent, scoring in every race, along with the Alpine of Sem, which is why he finds himself in second place in the championship.
I've just noticed there are more drivers in this than there is in F1. Yeah. And the real F1, because Logan Sargent had to miss out. Think about it.
Well, the person that is in Logan Sargent's chassis, Tiago, yet to get a lap on the board, but having a lovely little slipstream down the Mistral straight, but is going to find a whole gaggle of cars in the middle of the road. Look at this traffic. It's unbelievable. Got to be careful of the cars weaving around. Gets through it a little bit compromised, though. And
be careful, because you've got 5-place grid penalties if you block a driver, and if you block me on Facebook too. And he's managing to navigate his round the slower cars on their outlaps, so that's good. If I say that, that's not commentator's curse, because he went off the track. I said he was navigating past the cars. That's not commentator's curse, okay? I don't believe in that one bit. But we've got a lot of drivers now making their way out. This is only the second lap. There's only like 8 minutes to go. So it's quite interesting seeing all the drivers, making their way around in a big bundle. And out they come then, so that I believe... Here
Well,
we
there
go
it is.
again.
You're on red alert for it,
Oh,
and it
there
has
it
occurred.
is. Oh, there it is. We're going to have to do a reset, and I think it will take forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You hate to see it. So Sem, unless he finishes last, means we will have to do, and he probably won't be the only one that gets one of these, we'll probably have to do a lobby restart because he did nothing wrong, allegedly. Sem about to start his lap. I do not know how. Surely in the next game they're going to have to fix that.
Hopefully, we can all hope and pray. A lot of drivers under pressure, though. We saw Tiago unable to get that time, and Nick in that the second McLaren also invalidating on the second flying lap.
Oh
Lorenzino currently
dear.
in the final sector. It hasn't been the cleanest of laps in the world from the Sauber drivers, so not expecting this to be right at the sharp end. We'll have to wait and see. But it is seventh for Lorenzino over the line.
So Lorenzino goes seventh, and
Lifeboat.
Lifeboat goes to the top with 128.453, the first to go under the 128.5s today. And Coleman, no, not Coleman, he's invalidated, sorry. Should be Ewan coming round. He's faster.
Caracelli's invalidated again.
Oh dear. Ewan coming round. Now he's 4 tenths up in the first two sectors. How about the second sector? The third sector, sorry. Can he improve? No, can't get to the top, but is in sixth for now. 1,000 faster than Jeslar. Caracelli has invalidated, as we said. His teammate is coming to the line. Kaya to the line, and it is a 128.852. Goes to the 10th position. Tito now goes into 11th position. Darfifa is making his way around. Sem, who does not have a grid penalty, unlike what the game thinks, is coming round and is making his way down to the finish line, which is in front. And Giovanni I'd rather, goes to 128.429.
Terrible lap from Coolman. Did a 28.7 earlier on in the session, but it was invalidated. Went for another go. Only a 29.2. The second McLaren under pressure. His teammate Nick is going again, but doesn't have a lot of battery in the final sector at the moment. So I wouldn't expect this to be too competitive. But yeah, time's starting to drop a little bit as Giovanni and Lifeback get into that 28.4 bracket. I think we could maybe be seeing a 0.3 come the end of the session. Some drivers will have saved a set of soft tyres for that very moment.
Yeah, even if he made that lap uninvalidated, it would still not be good enough for the top 10, I'd imagine. Maybe 10th, but definitely not in the whips of the top 10. Nick coming to the line, and he only manages. He's worse than his teammate, and he's run out of fuel. Actually, he was doing another lap. Run out of fuel, run out of energy, and Nick is 1 second off the pace. Not what the McLaren drivers wanted. It's like the early start of the 2022 and 23 for these teams. As Taicho once again fails to set a lap and will have to come into the pit. So we have 17 drivers that have set a lap, 3 who have not. And once again, we will be doing a lobby restart because of technical difficulties. Thanks a lot, Cody's.
Who do you think's a little bit out of position then? Obviously, the two McLarens, Coolman especially, you would expect to be residing inside at least the top 10. Zane a little bit further down the order as well. We've seen Zane qualify poorly in the past, but then managed to come back through very nicely on race day to finish around 6th or 7th on a couple of occasions. But the big names are towards the front, which is good to see for their sake. They haven't left themselves under too much pressure. Caracelli maybe the only exception to that, down in 19th. Started the season off really well, but has faded away in the last couple of races.
Yeah, he has. Caracelli, I think, was fantastic in the first race, but unfortunately he lost his one on penalties. But you never know, he could come back. He needs to set a lap, though. Nick, he's trundling around the Paul Ricard circuit, famous for lots of sports car racing action. Not Formula One, no, it seems. Just no, in recent times anyway. Of course, it was used in the 70s. But after it left for Manicourt in 1991, it seems to turn into a test track, and it looks like it's giving people seizures. And honestly, with those tires, if it was like fake grass or something, like into green, I would see why. I wouldn't mind, but it's just so much runoff.
It's not the best circuit layout in the world. While we have a little bit of downtime, do you want to tell everybody about the lovely sponsors that PSGL have got?
Oh yeah, I forgot. We need to run, and we need to have some people sponsor us and have them promote our stuff. We have GT Omega, the title sponsor since season 34, and still going. They are the leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, from gaming chairs to sim racing cockpits. You can improve your setup right here at GT Omega if you use the code PSGL for 5% off on GT Omega products. And we also have Sim Racing Centre. Sim Racing Centre is the new sponsor for F123 this year. They are the lead provider of all things F1 game-wise, and even have F124 stuff ready. Apparently, this is a rumor we just got in from our lovely heads at PSGL. They have things from mega setups, expert engineering, strategy advice, one-on-one coaching, and you can even get advice from two-time esports champion Brendan Lee. Sign me up. You can have a look at the site.
Want a bit of that?
Exactly. simracingcentre.com/PSGL. Use this code PSGL. Check it. You get 10% off your purchase. How about that? So it's basically a masterclass for F1 esports.
Perfection. I think you will probably agree. Jezza is the first driver over the line to start their final flying lap of the session. We'll have to wait and see how the Alpine does in 8th place. Solid start to the qualifying session, but we'll be looking to try and get up into the top 5 places, you would imagine.
You would imagine, indeed, he is the championship leader by 1 point ahead of Lifeboat, who has won 2 races and not scored in any other race. They're all making their way round, and Jeslar now coming down the Mistral Straight, where he is going to see the chicane.
It's a pretty difficult chicane to manage, isn't it? Because it's quite high speed. Then you have to shift down for the second part. Again, you almost have to treat it as 2 different corners. Be careful you don't invalidate as well, because the curves are so low and they're not like the typical sausage curbs that we get on most modern circuits that catapult you into the barriers left, right, and centre. It's been a pretty decent lap though for Jeslar, you have to say. 2.5 tenths up so far, getting very close to a potential provisional pole lap.
Yes, he's looking pretty good at the moment. I should just mention, that chicane is a headache, complete headache. If there are no lines marked, which chicane are you supposed to know what to take? This is why people don't like this track. You just go full send down Mistral Straight. They go full send down Las Vegas Strip. You should go full send down the Mistral Straight. But then again, this track's not on the calendar anymore. Jeslar is the first to set time as 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Checker flag is out. Jeslar comes to the line. Is he improving? Yes, but only 4th. 1/8 of a second off.
Luca Rapace has had some issues as well in the first sector, invalidated going, so that's going to be the end of their session. Lifeboat to the top though. There's your 28.2. That's the benchmark to beat. Owen, his teammate, not improving.
Not improving at all. Gets Caracelli's lap, and he's 1 thousandth behind Giovanni. Without Lifeboat, that would have been for a second. It's not. He's going to have to settle. But no, Kaya, his teammate, goes into second with 1-1-1 behind. And then Sem only manages 8th. Further back, Coleman. Where's Coleman going? He's going to, I missed him, 10th. Zane goes to 7th. I'm trying to catch up with all the drivers. Sorry if I'm giving people seizures.
The Ferraris are in trouble. Luca Rapace not improving, of course. Angelo being bumped down into 9th and has had a very messy final sector in boxes. So Angelo's going to be 9th at best coming into the pits. It was a terrible final sector. The car was all over the place. Could get dropped out of the top 10. Yes, down to 10th as Ale Marciano comes in. We wait for Lorenzino, who has actually backed off and invalidated. I think that could be session over for these guys. We wait for
Rachel
the
goes
bottom
18th.
Darth FIFA 16th.
And Tiago coming across the line now, and that will be the end of the session, I think. Yeah, it is pole for Lifeboat in his quest to take the championship lead with the now absent Brando. Pole position for Lifeboat. Kaya in 2nd, Giovanni in 3rd, Caracelli in 4th. Great result for the Mercedes. They'll be on the left side. They're left, facing a. When we see it on the camera, it'll be the right, but they're left off the track. The pole position gets the racing line into the first corner, so that's on the outside of the apex. Then 5th, Yasuo Saki, Luca Rapace in 6th, Jeslar in 7th, Marciano in 8th, Zane in 9th, and Angelo completing the top 10. Not a good performance for Ferrari. They would have wanted better. It is not bad for Rapasa, but not good for Angelo, as we are now about to begin a new session because of technical gremlins, we can say.
Is a very good session for Mercedes considering they're last in the Constructors' Championships. Just the 3 points, all of those picked up in round number 1 by Caracelli. So, a real dry spell for them. The same as Aston Martin, who haven't scored since the opening round. They picked up 16 points there, none since Yasisaki, with a fairly solid 5th place in there, just 2 tenths back. Covering the top 5, life back from Kaya Giovanni, Caracelli and Yasisaki. Then Rapasa Jessar. 2 Red Bulls will be fairly happy with that, and obviously, like you said, Angelo, a couple of people out of position. Coolman will be a bit disappointed to be down in 14th. No improvement for Lorenzino at the end, and Nick invalidated late on as well, though the lap was, I think it was a 28.7, so only would have made up a couple of places.
And he's the lone wolf outside the 128s, and will start 1.2 seconds behind and in bottom of the barrel, and you can ignore everything you see right now because everyone's leaving the session, and it was raining. Oh dear.
Well, I think some people will be pretty glad we are getting into a different session.
I thought they kept it rain anyway.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough then. This is a track that rain is probably going to be a bit of a challenge, you'd imagine.
It almost never rains in the south of France.
It is a rare occurrence. You'd imagine the curbs are going to be a real challenge though, because of how wide they are. I know they're a bit low, but that doesn't stop them from being extremely slippery. We could see a few drivers, if it is as wet as we saw, go skating off into that mile and mile long runoff area.
Yeah. Remember, Champions Edition, 15% off. We can mention that. It is the F1 game after all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, Jess is part of the creator program by EA. As much as we, let's say kerfuffles with certain people, we can't forget, without them, there would be no PSGL, no game, no anything. So credit where credit's due. Again, that could be said the same for things like, well, let's not get to that. Let's not get political.
Oh.
Without Bernie Ecclestone, there wouldn't be Formula One as it is today, even though he's not there anymore.
I mean, I think we can all be pretty happy that he isn't there.
Yeah, each their own.
What are your predictions, though? Because obviously we don't have the championship leader, like we've said, and the championship leader by quite a distance. So an opportunity for some of the other drivers to maybe pick up a first win of the season. Who are you fancying for this session?
Who do I fancy? Ooh, tough question. I just got an invite, thank you.
You're welcome.
You have 1 trophy to my name. Right, we are just waiting for the others. I'm just going to try and get them right now.
Safety rating of C as well. I don't know.
C?
C, yeah.
That's unacceptable. We got 2 more. We got the 2 Williams. I love it that the Williams names begin with TI and end with O.
Nice bit of symmetry.
And the 3rd and 4th letters are far apart too. A and C and G and H.
I mean, they are both, 5 letters. It does make it sometimes a little bit tricky to try and decipher which one's which.
We lost Nico.
That's true.
Got Nico again. Reminder, full house tonight. I'd love to see it.
Who are we missing? Name and shame?
Hey, don't name and shame. We are missing Zane and we are missing Lorenzino. It's not Sheen. There he is. One more. Come on, Zane. Join your friends or enemies or frenemies or people that drive cars. It's raining in France. There we go. Il fait chaud. Is it? I was asked a pub quiz question. What is hot in French? And I said, "Wa," which is no. Is it?
Yeah, I was going to say il fait chaud. That's hot.
Il fait chaud. That is hot. This is hot. Just like Charles Leclerc.
Oh.
But he still has an appendix and Carlos doesn't, so who's the better driver now? Right, no, don't start up yet, guys. Gotta get the grid. I'm gonna get a drink while this is on. Be right back.
That would be slightly embarrassing if we got the lobby reset, everybody got straight back in, and then forgot to set the grid. I don't expect that is what's going to happen, of course, but yeah, would not be ideal at all. Maybe we go for that random setup. Should we have a quick run through of, well, as everybody's readying up, let's have a very quick run through of our championship standings and the gaps between all of our drivers. Obviously, Brando not here. Jeslar is currently technically the leader, but 20 points behind Brando, one ahead of Lifebatters, who we said earlier has won 2 races, and then the other 3 failed to pick up any points, in contrast to Sem, further 3 points back, just the 1 podium, but has scored in every single race. Angelo with the Lifebout syndrome, with 1 win, 1 second, and then nothing else. Zane has qualified poorly at times, but managed to work his way back through and finds himself 6th in the championship, a further 7 points behind Angelo. And then we've got a big cluster of drivers. Fraser, who we didn't see last week and haven't this week either. Enzo, Lorenzino, and then Coolman rounding out our top 10 in the constructors as we ready up to go. It is Ferrari 90 points clear of Alpine, and then a big gap back to Haas, who coincidentally they are on 34 points. All of them scored by Lifebout. AlphaTauri in 4th, and then comes Red Bull. No, not all of them scored by Lifebout, sorry. 2 of them scored by Owen. Yeah, AlphaTauri. 1 point ahead of Red Bull. I'm sure the bigwigs won't be a fan of that one.
Bigwigs. Bigwigs! Remember that game, Big Rigs Over the Road Racing?
I do not know.
Your winner! Said Will Murdoch, the Gran Turismo connoisseur. He managed to win F2. Of course,
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, Will Murdoch is actually in the Gran Turismo game as an AI. He's a former competitor. I'm not sure if he still is. He was a competitor in the Gran Turismo World Series, so something I've always wanted to be a part of. If I can turn traction control and ABS off, that'd be nice.
Wow, you're gonna have to get good. I mean, who runs with traction control? Come on now.
I should get the Fanatec are with GT Omega, aren't they? Or are they just neutral? Either way, should get one of those.
Probably not a conversation to be. Probably not a conversation to be having.
Oh gosh, I've done it now. I don't think. I'm sure they don't mind. I mean, my wheel. I'm not going to mention it. Isn't that good? It's cheap. Let's just say that. Anyway.
If you want to get something that is good quality, though, head over to GT Omega. You can use that code PSGL that we spoke about earlier for 5% off, and then Sim Racing Centre SRC using the same code. You can get a load of setups and some tips for 10% off.
Still waiting for everyone to set up. As you can see, the pit boxes. It's Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes. I think that's Alpine, then McLaren, then Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin. And I believe that would be the AlphaTauri, Haas, then AlphaTauri, then Williams. And of course, in 2024, Aston Martin would be much higher and Alpine probably much lower. For Mercedes, McLaren would be much up there. Here we go. We have 5 lights ahead in the French rain. You're not supposed to be British. And it's lights out away. We're going to run away. Lifeboat. Let's get ahead of Kaya, heading down to this first corner. As you can see, all on intermediate tyres. To the chicane we go, and who's it going to be that gets ahead? It is Lifeboat ahead of Kaya. Giovanni trying to squeeze in, but he will not get there. Now Kaya's right on the back of Lifeboat. One temp separating the two, going into the next series of corners. And he gives him a bit of a tag on the behind into turn number 5. There's a battle for fourth between Repasser and Caracelli. Still battling before the Mistral Straight. There's also one further down involving Darth Pfeiffer, and he's falling back there. It's not a good debut for him, and it's nearly a spin from Luca Rapasser coming out to the Mistral Straight and down to the chicane.
It's going to be under huge pressure from that Mercedes of Caracelli. Does opt to sit behind, though, and hold on to 5th place. Yasisaki, we saw a little bit earlier on as well, falling off the road in that squabble with Ale Marciano for 7th and 8th. But the Aston Martin, I think, is going to be on the move, attacking the Alpine of Jeslar. As I think Angelo's had a problem.
Angelo's had a bad
couple
accident.
Of spinners, yes.
And Marciano as well. Not the start they wanted. Not a sophomore race that Marciano wanted, and he lost Kuhlmann as well, it seems. He's lost a position, and he's battling with Sem for a points position, the last one that is. And Saki are up there right behind Jeslar.
That was a very interesting bit of contact with Ale Marciano and Angelo. Just a bit of a pinch point, the chicane that we mentioned earlier on, both of them coming across or falling down to the back of the pack. Going to be difficult to make your way through, of course, because overtaking in the rain is slightly harder than it is in the dry. Out in front, there was Luca Rapasser and Giovanni squabbling out of the final corner. They're going to run side by side over the finish lines. We start lap number 2 and down into turns number 1 and 2. This could get a little bit messy.
It could, going into the first turn once again, and Giovanni, who had a moment out of the last corner, manages to stay ahead of Rapasa. Scary moment, but he stays ahead and keeping his cool. Further down, we have Tiago trying to chase down Sim, who was battling Kuhlmann earlier. And he will not get the position for now. No DRS enabled, of course, because, well, we don't have to say it for you, we all know that. And already, Lorenzino gets a penalty for a corner cut, massive corner cut. And it doesn't even warrant the free strikes. He gets 3 strikes all in one because that was a completely clear corner cut to gain advantage.
Very early to be picking up a 3-second penalty. That's going to hang over his head for the whole race and make life very difficult for that second Sauber driver, though. He is a little bit away from the points-paying positions. We'll need maybe a bit of a miracle to occur if he is going to pick up some points in this race.
Alright, so still Lifeboat in the lead, looking for his 3rd win of the season. We're taking him to the lead of the championship, and we'll have him winning half of the races already. Kaya trying to put a stop to it. He's gaining time, but he's just about lost some time as Giovanni goes wide at that turn. And now Luca Rapasso will have a chance to get past. Should be a one-stop race in all honesty, other than a safety car. Even though it is possible to get through the entire race without a stop, but that is high risk. So do it at your own risk, as Taicho has made a move into 15th.
Kaya's very wide going through the penultimate corner. Bit of contact between the Mercedes and the Alpha Tower of Giovanni to boot as well. Almost a second behind the race leader Lifeboat, but a lot of wheel spin out of the final corner puts pay to any chances Giovanni was hoping of getting that second place on the run down into turn number 1.
Jeslar sets the fastest lap. That'll be a bonus point if he stays in the top 10 as Giovanni starts to close up again. Oh, he's lost it now. Angelo's got it, but he's not in the top 10. He won't get zipped for that. As Giovanni, who did start in 3rd place, is looking to get up the order. Luca Passer, who also... No, he started in 6th place. He's already made 2 positions. Caracelli's lost one, and he started in 4th. Top 3, 9th and 11th remain the same. Everything else has been shuffled around.
It is Nico and Kuhlmann who are the big winners off the start, and Tico as well, like you said, down the order. We've got a few different groups starting to fall. We've got the top 7, and then a bit of a gap back to Nico in 8th, and then a big train of cars following them, and then the 2 at the back. We've got some squabbling though down into the chicane. Tiago and Sem starting to drop back again as the Williams puts the Alpine under pressure. They're going to stay side by side, not a lot of room, as the Williams has to take to the curb and gets a bit wobbly on the exit as well, and that will allow the Haas of Owen to try and come past both of them.
Sorry, I had to miss that. There's already been a change in the leadership. No. And there's a Alpine off. I do apologise for that. I had to cut away because now Giovanni is into 2nd place ahead of Kaya. Meanwhile, further back, they're still fighting for 12th. Ewan gets past, and looks like Lorenzino and the Sauber are looking to get through as well, but Sem not having a great start to his race, and Tiago is going to try and run clear of those squabbling behind, and that was a massive Massive overtaking of the curb by Ewan, and there's a battle for 13th between Lorenzino and Sem, and this is going to catch Chico's eye as he's going to try and see if he can get past nice and easily, but I don't think he will. He's run out of road into the first two they go, and that will be Lorenzino staying ahead for now, but he has got a 3-second penalty, so he's got to remember that.
Bit of a dive bomb into the final corner from Lorenzini. It wasn't the cleanest move you would have seen in your life, but Sam continues to struggle. That car, the balance looks to be all over the place, struggling for rear grip. Owen is going to continue his assault towards the points-paying positions on the back of that Williams of Tiago. Further 2 seconds, though, to the back of Coolman, Zane and Nico have joined that train out in front. We are now a 10-car scrap for the lead because Lifebout has lost a lot of time on this lap to Giovanni.
Oh, Rapassa spun! Rapassa has spun and he's collided with a car behind. I think it might have been Caracelli. Rapassa is trying to move on Kaya for third place and he has made a mess of it. And now he's battling. I don't think he's got any damage from that. And now he's down ninth battling with Zane. That is damage. Is that damage? Yes, Caracelli has damage. Very unlucky moment for Mercedes. He was battling Kaya and his teammate has taken the damage. Kind of like Logan Sargent in the... but that's the wrong team.
Yeah, and can't catch a break at the moment, Caracelli. No front-end downforce at all as he slides off the road again. Luca Rapassa trying to hold on to what becomes 8th place from the attacking McLaren of Coolman behind. Caracelli is going to dive into the pits and drop to the back of the pack. Can barely keep it on the road with that damage. And, going to drop all the way down to last. We've still got battling between Luca Rapassa and Coolman, though.
Yeah, and I was going, whoa, for that. Oh, that's another squirrel back there. That's Teddo's out of the race. He's crashed out of the final corner. He was looking. That's surely it's got to be a safety car, right? The car is in the middle of the track. I don't know why it's a safety car. I don't see any warning.
Yes, it is a safety car. We can see it on the map.
All right, it's a safety car. That means everyone has to slow down. It's because there's no signage there. There's no, those little posts they have. Yeah, safety car. There it goes. Safety car is out. Teddo is out of the race. Unfortunately, he lost it out of the final corner. And that will be the end of his race. Not what he would have wanted. Caracelli is going to catch up to the leaders here. He's just pitted for a new set.
I wonder if we'll see anybody else come in. We know that on this game, the difference that you can make on new tyres compared to slightly worn tyres can be fairly substantial, but track position, you would imagine, will be favoured by our drivers. People down the order, though, may be willing to risk it a little bit. We've got a bit of a car park going on out of the chicane with Nico backing up quite a lot. May have been brake checked by his Delta, but an interesting thing going on. Anyone who we think could make that move? Tito's left the session, unsurprising. Might be Sem that thinks, the pace isn't quite there. I'll roll the dice, try and stick on a new set of boots. We'll have to wait and see when they come round past the pit lane.
A new set of boots? What do you think this is? Endurance racing with Pirelli boots? Endurance marathon running, ultra marathons.
Hiking boots.
There's a thing called... I can't remember what is it called. There's a race in America where the ultra marathon, and it started. They're all
coming into the pits, by the way.
Yeah, they're all coming in. It started by someone when they smoke a cigarette. I am not kidding. It starts when someone smokes. What's going on here? That's Coleman and Zane. Oh, and a 5-second penalty for Ewan for a major collision. Now, was that for coming together in the pit entry? This is one of the tighter pit entries. By the way, Taito has decided to go all out and is staying out. And so is Marciano. Oh, and he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Now that is an I wouldn't want to say embarrassing, but that is a mistake you definitely do not want to make. And I don't think Caracelli is going to gain anything out of these pit stops here.
He certainly has bottled it a little bit. Caracelli will not gain that many positions. I think going to be past Angelo, maybe a couple of stragglers towards the back. But obviously it does bring the Mercedes back into contention. Joins the back of the queue, whereas he would have been 20 seconds off the back of the train. So does benefit from this. Ale Marciano is now the net race leader, courtesy of that penalty for Tico. And we're going to have to wait and see how quickly those guys get swallowed up by the pack. Did anyone lose a lot in the pits? We obviously saw that move from Coolman getting past Zane on the pit entry. People obviously trying to take advantage to the fact that this is a bit of an unorthodox pit lane entry, and because it is so tight and slow, you can maybe try and send it around the outside and hope you almost ghost through someone. I think that's probably what Owen was trying to do, but getting caught out by it and going into the back of the driver in front.
I've just been told that Tiago and Ewan have both got 5-second time penalties. Tycho, you know when he was going to do that strategy? Well, he's going to do no strategy now. Instead of helping his race, he's hindered it with that drive-through penalty. Must serve after the safety car period. And he's weaving around like a minute. Look at that. If you want to damage your tyres, then there you go. I don't mean to criticize him negatively, but that looks really sketchy. I'm not sure if he's trying to keep them warm. I mean, it is quite difficult to keep them warm in the rain, but surely not that difficult. He nearly lost it. Look, he nearly lost it. It's like Tokyo Drift in this.
I don't think his rear tyres are going to be particularly happy with him when they talk to him after this race. This is crazy stuff, lock to lock. It's like playing F1 2011, but he's got it wrong.
Goodness.
No, what is he doing? Bit of overconfidence there with the loud pedals, going to drop all the way down to the back of the pack. If he doesn't come into the pits at the end of this lap for a new set of tyres, I'd be absolutely amazed. He's going to try and pass everyone, but
what's he
into
doing?
The pits Tycho goes. And that was effectively all worth absolutely nil.
Yeah, and he's coming to the pits again because he's probably ruined those tyres so much. He can't serve his drive-through penalty. You're not allowed to under the safety car.
How to completely mess up what was looking a fairly viable and bold and potentially successful strategy.
Yeah. I was about to sing the Tokyo Drift theme, but I don't think Jess would be too happy. Shout out to Jess, by the way. Always a fantastic manager, I'd have to say.
Well, car number 99, Tico, has still got 99 problems, but at least his tyres ain't one at this point.
Yeah, he's done one of the 101 ways to go out of an F1 race.
Absolutely. So
Alan Marciano is the unlikely leader right now, as he is not pitted, so he will be at quite the disadvantage. But then again, it's not much of a disadvantage in the rain.
It probably was worth the roll of the dice, because remember, he and Angelo were facing the wrong way on the opening lap, I think it was. Or it might have been lap number 2. So, getting himself back into contention with some track position.
But Angelo playing it safe, it seems. As I should mention, by the way, I think safety car is going to be coming in this lap. It usually comes in when it's bunched the pack up for about 2 laps. There we go. Safety car in this lap. So Marciano, quite a disadvantage, especially with the tyre life, but if you're Lewis Hamilton and just like to extend it to like 50 laps in Turkey, then everything's on the table here. So he's just backing the pack up. He actually started 8th, went down to 20th, and now he's back in the lead. So we should just see going behind there. His tyres are 6 laps old. All the others just 1 lap old. But it feel like half a lap old, and really, Alan Marciano's tyres are just 5 laps old. You're not going to be doing that much tyre wear during, my goodness, he's really going slow. During the safety car period, you wouldn't be using much of that tyre wear. So Alan Marciano will kick us off once again. He has up until the timing beam to back up the pack as much as he wants, dictate the pace. Oh, he's up. He's off. He's running away. Oh, and he nearly... Whoa! Whoa! Lifeboat! Lifeboat nearly loses it. He got caught up so much. And I think someone's hit him behind. So we're underway once again. It is Alan Marciano in the lead ahead of Lifeboat, Giovanni Kaya and Jeslo and Yasasaki, Nico and Coleman. Zane Wilker, your top 10. Heading down into the first corner, it is going to be Alan Marciano leading with no challenging, it seems, and no overtaking, it seems, for now. Just everyone taking it easy. Giovanni's making ground on Lifeboat. who's threatening his chance to win his third race of the season, as we have already mentioned. And he's right behind. He's going for the move on Ale Marciano right now. Oh, and he nearly loses it. He nearly loses it. He manages to keep it together. Giovanni caught out, and he's been overtaken by Kaya. And Kaya nearly loses it. Coming towards the Mistral Straight now. It's a chance for him to get past again. Can he do it? That is the question. Coming down to the chicane in the middle of the Mistral Straight. Lifeboat's about to strike, but he's not going to do it. Further down. Oh no! And Giovanni spun. It's all going wrong for AlphaTauri.
Big mistake. Lock the rears, clatters into the side of the Mercedes. Round you go, and towards the back of the pack you go as well. Lifeboat, we saw it in the first sector, was desperate to get past the Red Bull, was maybe a little bit too impatient, because we can see through these fast and medium speed corners. Look at the grip difference Haas has got on those new tyres.
Sorry. Indeed, it's a massive difference even at this stage of the race. I don't think we're going to be going all the way to the end on one set of tyres, are we, Marciano? So here we come, once again, to the final stage of this 8th lap of the race. And it looks like Ale Marciano's going to be under a lot of pressure from Lifeboat. And he's looking right outside. Look who's there! Kaya's going for second place, but he almost makes it stick. But he has to stick behind. And now Lifeboat's going to go for the lead again. He's going to go for the lead. He's right behind. He's going to the outside. He's going to try, make his move. Into the first corner they go. Can he hold it together? Yes! He can, and there's Kaya as well. He gets through. And now the battle is on. Jeslar is going to relegate him down to 4th. Out of the podium positions now, Ale Marciano is starting to realise the true setbacks of staying on these tyres. He's getting swamped by the entire field. Saki now having a move on him. He's going to put him out into 5th. Nico and Coleman as well just coming up behind. But it is Lifeboat that leads the race and 7 tenths ahead.
Ale Marciano trying to defend. Coolman's looking very racy, but it's actually Nico that's going to try and sail it around the outside. We're 3 wide into the chicane.
No way,
end well.
sure?
Somehow we're still okay. The other Red Bull of Zane thinks thank you very much and gets past Coolman, who was dawdling a little bit on the exit. Ale Marciano very much the cork in the bottle, helping his teammate out there a little bit, who could gain 2 places on this straight up the inside of Nico. We go. The Sauber is going to be relegated down into 7th, could be 8th as Coolman sending it up the inside. Bit of argy-bargy and a bit of contact to boot as well. The Ferrari, Luca Rapassa, trying to recover from that early spin as well. Nico could be tumbling down the order here because under pressure from the Ferrari and the second Haas of Owen, who's actually had some very decent pace, swinging it around the outside. The 2 Red Bulls squabbling over 5th and 6th. Nico gets back ahead of Coolman. Owen trying to get ahead of Luca Rapassa as well. This is crazy racing in the midfield.
It's wet, it's wild, it's PSGL, it's very best. 3 Ferraris are swamping 1 lone McLaren Mercedes-powered car, and are all trying to get past them, but Coleman is resisting and doing nothing but resisting from all 3. He stays in 7th place. Nico coming behind. He's desperate to get past the 2 Haas and Ferrari swapping positions, coming into the first chicane once again, still coming through like Norzart, 2x2 of sorts. It is madness. Further up, Yasser Saki is sticking behind Jeslar. He's made up 1 position. Jeslar's made up 4, and he's still the champ. Well, he's not going to be the championship leader for now, but he is the championship leader as we speak, as we should say. Coleman is starting to close up to Ale Marciano, who has weaker tyres.
Yeah, behind them, Luca Rapassa finally forcing his way past the Sauber and Nico, but it could continue up towards the chicane. Coolman should get this done relatively straightforward to get up into 6th place, but it's the battle behind we need to look at. Luca Rapassa, with better straight line speed than Nico, holds on to that position for now, and we are going to stay in the same order as we were.
Rapassa down 2 spots so far. He's going to try and get past Ale Marciano. He'll only be down 1 net if he can, and it should be plain sailing, quite literally, coming into the corner, and there he goes into the position, 7th position now. And now the top 3 are starting to close up. Lifeboat's gap has been cut by half a second. Oh no! There goes Saki. He's made a mistake, and he's went back off on the track. But that was a scary moment as Nico trying to pass Ale Marciano himself, and he goes to the outside. He can't do that. He's going to have to yield the position. And that's Nick has gone round. Nick has gone round and he's lost his wing. Further back, we have to go back to the battle, and that's Ale Marciano coming in, and Angelo as well. Oh, it's a virtual safety car. And we've lost T-Dub. T-Dub!
Yes, it is a virtual safety car. It was slightly unfortunate for Jeslar because he was actually side by side with Kaya going around the final corner when that VSC was called.
Oh,
and
no.
Into the pits go the 4 drivers at the back. But unfortunate for Ali Marciano, once he lost that third place, it all just sort of fell apart like a deck of cards.
Quite literally. Or a house of cards falling down, that could be said. But virtual safety car, the safety car period is on. So we will be, looks like it's going to be ending seeing that flash. So, just waiting for everyone to get underway. We're back underway, it seems. Are we? Yes, we are. Poor start from Kaya. Here comes Jeslar. He's still in the championship hunt, and he's trying to get a move. Is he going to make it into the inside? No, he's sight against it. Lifeboat has lost a bit of time, though, it seems, and he's going to get some of it back, is Kaya. And it's going to be honest, it's going to put off some of the battles that were further. I was going to space them out quite a bit. So, seeing that, Jeslar is now closer to Kaya than he was to Lifeboat. Zane is a little further away than he probably was. And the battle in the midfield has started to space out a bit.
Kaya as Owen picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to be ideal. It's had really good pace, but is now going to lose a place to the Sauber of Nico. But going to try and get it back around the outside. This is some good racing. I was going to talk about the battle for second that we saw on the restart, but a little bit of a squeeze on the exit and a slide as well. For Owen will stay in 8th place. Going back to that battle for second, we saw terrible restart for Kai, but put the big squeeze on Jeslar down the Mistral straight, both of them dumping the ERS charge as well, trying to get in front of one another. They're going to do the same down the main straight as well, as Lorenzino and Tiago debate 10th and 11th.
Top 3 are starting to be really close to each other. Lifeboat trying to keep it steady through the first chicane, and it just shows how difficult this league can be. People are saying this is wild. Well, wild's probably an understatement, mate. Chaotic would probably be a better statement. Even though I did say wet and wild earlier, I was trying to use some poetry in motion. Top 3 now making our way around Stebome, as it's called before Mistral. The chicane, by the way, is called Montreal. Don't know why. This Mistral Straight corner at the end of it is called Cygnus. But there's a lot of weird names, in all honesty. I'm just going to call them by their turn numbers, I think would be better. Coming through turn 9, as I should say. And that's Giovanni making his way back up the order, and that's on Lorenzino. This is for 12th place. And there, that was a dangerous move, and Darth FIFA is going to be handed a position on a plate, it seems. If he keeps it together, coming out of Cygnus. And looks like Lorenzino fighting back, heading into Bose. This might be trouble. Still fighting. Still fighting. They will not be separated, these two. Through they come, turn 12. That is Bender. Yes, that's actually its name. And Darth FIFA has lost position. Positions he would have gained, he's now lost. And he might lose another.
Yeah, Giovanni and Semi, you'd say slightly out of position if you look at their championship standing. Giovanni, that car looks so terribly balanced all over the place through that middle sector, drifting through every corner this way and that. Dark FIFA still under pressure from Sem on the run down into turn number 1. Out in front, the gap's over a second, so something might have happened between Kaya and Jeslar.
Or Kaya made a mistake. Now Jeslar's closer to Kaya than he ever was, as Angelo has set the fastest lap, but in 16th, won't get a bonus for that. Now Lifeboat's broke 1 second. This is looking very good for Lifeboat. We're only halfway there, though, so he's got to keep his cool, and I don't think the rain is going to change. It's going to just stay raining for the whole race, so intermediates for the entire the race. Now, Jeslar right on the back. Is there going to be a move? Don't think so, no. He's run out of road. He's got, looks like 71% in the battery. And if you can see close up, there's... Oh dear, Kaya's actually run out of battery. No wonder Jeslar's closing up.
Yeah, not very good battery management. Speaking of, Owen getting past Nico into that same chicane, continuing that fight through the field. What's interesting to note is these guys that pitted under that virtual safety car, Ale Marciano leading that pack, only 7.5 seconds off the back of the group. You'd imagine everybody that stayed out is going to have to pit again. That could be quite the strategy, and they could just be sneaking up to the back of this pack in a few laps' time and maybe set themselves up for a very decent result.
That would be quite the interesting spectacle to watch as Coleman starts to close up for the fifth place Yasser Saki, who is in the Aston Martin. They come out once again. What is it like? Lifeboat just going even further ahead. And now Jeslar has a door open and he is going to get second place in this race. Yes, he is. And now he's probably got the energy to chase down Lifeboat, but then again, he's also got as much energy in the tank, so bets are off, it seems.
Kai's stalk defence of second place is over, but I wouldn't put it past the Mercedes driver to try and get it back. Giovanni continuing to recover as well, gets ahead of the Williams of Tiago, now 3 seconds off the back of the Sauber of Nico. We've still got this big group of cars following behind second place Jeslar now. I wonder if Zane is going to be next on the list to try and get past the Mercedes of Kai, who does seem to be struggling a little bit, and like you said, doesn't have a lot of ERS in the bank either.
Coleman had a look. Coleman had a look at Saki, just ran out of road though, so he'll have to stay in sixth position for now. He's got Luca Rapassa right behind, and Saki's now right behind Zane. Zane has made up 5 positions so far. Coleman's made up 8. Coleman, who had a dismal qualifying, in 14th place, now is in 6th, and now chasing down Yasser Saki. Zane up there as well, as Jeslar is trying to hold on to his second place when he started from 7th. Lifeboat, who has been pretty much leading this whole... Well, he was leading this whole race, but now had a challenge from Kaya, but now is back in the lead. Lapasa still very close behind Coleman, I must mention, out of the final corner. And there's been a lot of twisting and turning in this final corner. It doesn't seem like it's changed right now.
Kaya and Zane both under pressure. Yasser Saki looking very racy, but the Red Bull dumping that ERS as we go down the main straight. Should fly past the Mercedes of Kaya, who's going to try and be later on the brakes. It is the Red Bull. Kaya dropping another place too in as many laps. Trying to get it back on the exit off the corner. Going to go side by side down into the hotel, but no, stays in 4th place and almost runs into the back of Zane.
Yeah, almost. He is running out of energy though. Saki has some energy, not as much as Kaya does, but still has a lot of energy. Zane goes a bit wide there. That might be a warning on his CV. But my goodness, that was Saki having a look at Kaya. Kaya really struggling with his pace right now. And Coleman is fallen down the order. He's had a bit of a moment, and now he's right behind Rapasa as Kaya starting to catch up to Zane once again. The gap, by the way, between first and third now is 2.5 seconds. Massive gains from Lifeboat and Jeslar. Now Yasser Saki is looking up the inside of Kaya, but he hasn't got enough space. Is he going to go for it at the next turn here? Turn 11. No, he's not. He stays in. Or is he now? He's going to go for it now. This is in turn 12 we're going to, and he's got it. Before turn 12, Saki into 4th. Kaya falling down the order. What has happened to Kaya? He is very well up until this point, and now he's falling down the order. Did he go on the throttle too early? He's coming in. I think his tyres are gone too.
Yeah, the pace was certainly not there from what we saw in the first stint. Just want to talk about that Coleman moment. Big slide coming out of Mistral and onto the straight. Lucky to keep it out of the wall and only lose 1 place to Luca Rapassa.
So, as we should mention, coming into the pits now is Kaya's going to go right to the back. Are we going to have pit stops? I think we might have to still have pit stops. If you're going to, we might as well do it at lap 17 or something. So, Kaya trying something out. It seems like he's going to be undercutting on the entire field, but he probably would have liked to undercut before losing those positions.
But look at Ale Marciano and Angelo. They've caught the back of the pack. They're 10 seconds ahead of Kai, who, of course, was in that leading group. Everybody's going to have to stop again, apart from those guys that pitted under the virtual safety car. Ale Marciano and Angelo, the 2 drivers that collided on lap number 1, they could finish first and second here. The tyre offset is now going to be in favour of everybody else, but the track position could fall into their hands.
That would be ridiculous if that happened. But yes, these tyres probably go like 18, 19 laps, and they're going to do that by the end of the race. So this is all looking good for them.
This would be quite the comeback from these two. Caracelli as well is 7 seconds behind them, hasn't got the pace, but is still ahead of teammate Kaya. And when the lead is pit, you would imagine Caracelli will probably be in and around the lead of the race.
Oh boy. Strategies. Probably got for all those mathematical calculations going through your brain right now, thinking, oh, is this good? Is this good? It's up in the air right now, I have to say, but now, what is going to happen? Are we going to have any takers for pit stops?
I don't think so. I wonder if they know about the progress of those cars that pitted under the VSC. Ale Marciano only 13 seconds off the lead, and this is a fairly long pit lane. Obviously, Kaya came out 11 seconds behind. The Red Bull is on the move, though, past the Aston Martin of Darth FIFA, who falls off the road, maybe because he's playing the wrong game.
Yeah, I think Ale Marciano was might have pushed Darth off the track. Not sure, but he did go wide, did Darth FIFA, so we'll have the stewards look at that one maybe if need be. But Ale Marciano now up into 13th and 1.5 seconds behind Sem. Further up, we've got Yashir Saki starting to close up on Zane, who's now 2 seconds behind Jeslar. It's all starting to fall out of sorts for Zane, it seems.
Certainly doesn't have the pace of the two in front, but is managing to hold up the drivers behind. Yasir Saki fairly close behind the Red Bull, but doesn't have a lot of battery in that Aston Martin. Same goes for Luca Rapassa behind. Looking pretty decent, Coolman and Owen, though, with around 50% battery each.
50% battery each for both of them then. So it seems to have come down a bit up the front especially, but Coleman is trying to get back up the order. This is going to be for 5th place right now. Rapassa and Coleman, and actually Saki's right on the back of Zane, and so are Rapassa and Coleman, and even Ewan as well, despite his penalty. He's going to get involved in the fight, might play spoiler if he wishes. But that's a battle between Tiago and Lorenzinho. This is for the last points position. They both got penalties though, so got to take that in note. And there he goes into 10th. And is that going to be pit stop? No, he's staying out. Looks like he was going to come in, but he's not. And that is Giovanni. Tiago's pitting, sorry. Tiago is coming into the pits. That's why he is losing or gaining positions. Kaya is starting to get caught, or is he? No, he's passed his teammate. Sorry, Kaya's passed Caracelli's teammate, who's on a different strategy. And Angelo's now got a penalty. Not what you want. There's going to be quite a few of them, I'm going to be honest, at the end, near the end of the race. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, Ale Marciano continuing to catch the lead as the gap's still 13 seconds despite being caught in this big train of cars behind Lorenzinho and Sem. That battle between Tiago and Lorenzinho, very, very weird. I was watching it. Tiago was almost defending fresh air as Ale Marciano falls off the road a little bit. Got a yellow flag, and that's Darth FIFA.
FIFA is out, and it's another safety car. That's out of Mistral. Turn 7. That's it for Darth FIFA. A new boy is out. So it's another safety car. And this means everyone's going to pit, and this is going to harm Ale Marciano and the like.
Yeah, absolutely kills their chances of potentially winning this race. Will they stay out? It will be very brave because we saw what happened earlier on in the session. The tyres are about the same age as they were on that first safety car restart. So you would imagine everybody is going to file into the pits, and we're going to see what the running order is for what should be the final 7 laps or so when the safety car comes in.
Yes. So we are about to have another safety car period, and Lifeboat's in. That means Jeslar's going to be in. Zane's in. Saki is in. Lapaz is in. Who is not in? Not anyone that I know of. I think everyone's going to be in the pit lane here. Even Marciano's in. Yeah. Now, is Kaya going to come in? Let's find out. Yes, he's coming in. They're all going to come in, it seems.
Who's going to get held up in the pits? That's something we need to consider as well. I think they're all in the same order that they were, at least at the front. Giovanni's down the end of the pit lane, so not going to be able to jump in. Owen, I think, may have been jumped by Nico because having to get held for Lifeboat. I think that's the only real change in there. No, Giovanni's ahead of Owen as well.
Yeah, so it is Giovanni ahead of Owen, it seems. So it looks like, unless I've got my numbers wrong, there are 8 teams represented in this battle. 8 teams.
Yes.
The only 2 that aren't are the for Mercedes, who are well down, and the Williams.
What you've got to remember about Mercedes as well is they started second and fourth, now 14th and 16th.
Yeah.
Really not gone well for the Silver Arrows.
It's gone all wrong. But it is not over. This is effectively a reset. Everyone has pit for new tyres. So we're just going to put the penalties up, because that's probably what matters if you're further back. No one's got penalties up front, though. If we check the race director, though, you can check the warnings. As you can see, of course, everyone on intermediate tyres. The incidents had... Wow, look at all these warnings, man. There's so many. That's expected here. Sem is on the verge of getting a penalty, it seems. So he's got to watch out that. Darth FIFA has been given a penalty. Nick's been given penalties. Nick's right at the back, I think, is he? No.
Lorenzino, I wonder how many warnings he's on. Obviously picked up that 3-second penalty on lap number 2. Probably doesn't bode well, but looking at it, not too many more warnings for the second Sauber driver.
Jesler has one warning. One warning. Track limits warning is 2 total, but you only get one. The track limits warning to count to your
Zane
count.
is on. Zane's on 2.
Zane's on 2, so he's got to be careful. Not trying to name and shame, but you know.
Got to keep everybody updated.
Yes.
How are we looking then? Who are the big movers now that everything has sorted itself out? Jeslar and Zane are the big ones towards the front. 5 and 6 places made up respectively, and then Coolman as well from 14th on the grid up into 6th, a gain of 8 places. Giovanni, one of the major losers, down 5. Kaya and Caracelli down 12 each. Owen and Lorenzino started down the order in 15th and 16th, both nestled just inside that top 10, but do have 3-second penalties as well. We have to remember, so could get bumped out of those positions when we reach the checkered flag.
Yes, indeed. So it is. By the looks of it, I think we will have 7 laps before we get the checkered flag from the safety car coming in. So at the end of this lap, we'll not be surprised to see the safety car come in.
Absolutely, and Lifeboat is going to have to do it for the second time, they say third, the second time this session, control a restart, one of them, of course, under the virtual safety car. Jesler, I think this is probably going to be his only opportunity, because we saw at the end of that stint before the safety car came out, wasn't able to make that many inroads on the Haas, so it's probably got to be a bit aggressive on the restart. Same with the likes of Yasir Saki, who was bottled up behind the Red Bull of Zane, currently trying to pick up a first podium of the season.
Yes, you can see the lovely red Mercedes safety car, but hey, Ferrari's supposed to be red. Yeah, whatever, there's like 50 different colours of Mercedes. I mean, you do get black Ferraris, don't you? You get blue Ferraris. I remember there was a blue Ferrari once. Safety car in this lap. You know what would be fun if this was the French Grand Prix? Why don't you have an Alpine safety car? I mean, is a supercar brand?
It would probably break down or maybe be a little bit overweight, though.
Oh my gosh, you're... Anyway, here we go. This is the restart. It is Lifeboat ahead of Jeslar. That's what it's going to be coming out of the final corner now. He's not going yet. He's not put the throttle. Is he going to do it out at the final turn? Is he going to catch people out? It would be very dangerous if he did.
Yeah, it was very late. We saw Ale Marciano go very early on, and it worked out to his advantage, but it hasn't really worked for Lifeboat. Good, Jeslar fairly close behind, but we are racing once again.
Jeslar has a chance to get through Zane as well. Further back, we don't see much squabbling of note, so I guess they're going to keep it together on. Kaya's got a penalty again, so... Well, it's actually his first, but that will be the end of his chances for sure. The Grapasa starting to close up on Saki.
Yasir Saki actually had a massive moment coming out of turn 2, was pretty much sideways, opposite lock in the left direction and lost a bit of time to Zayn and could be under pressure from the Ferrari of Luca. Rapassa done well to recover from that penalty, or the spin, earlier on, both dumping the battery on the run down into the chicane. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? They're both a little bit tentative, leave each other a lot of room actually, and Yasisaki holds on to that for the time being.
Yeah, Yasisaki managed to stay ahead, but Rapassa's got a better run out of the corner. Here he comes. Coming down the inside, heading down into Cygnus. They go side by side again, and it is a move from Luca Rapassa. He's up into 4th now. Further up, Jessler starts to close in on Lifeboat. 3/10 the gap. Coming out of turn 11 and now through to turn 12 we come as well. Further back, that's Alan Marciano and Sem. And Sem's lost it, and he's going to lose another position to Angelo, who has a 3-second penalty.
It is probably going to be the end of Sem's 100% point scoring record. The pace just hasn't quite been there this week, unfortunately enough, for the Alpine driver when his teammate's doing so well up in 2nd place. A little look for Angelo up the inside, and a big wobble as well going through the final corner.
Big wobble indeed. That was for Coleman as well. Lifeboat's got the fastest lap. He's going to get an extra bonus point, it seems, if he can stay there and keep that fastest lap. Giovanni right on the back of Nico. I tell you what, he's done a great recovery drive after losing it in a podium position. He's now up into possibly 7th if he can get past the Cerber of Nico. Further up, Saki still got his back on Rapassa, wants to get that position back. He will have a chance to out of Mistral and into Montreal. Through we come once again. It's still Life ahead by 6/10, starting to break away from Jesler. Jesler needs to play catch up as Ewan and Giovanni starting to go side by side through the Mistral corner and now down the straight. Can't be separated until they go into the chicane. Who's going to be the last to break? Coming into the chicane they come. And it is Ewan that stays ahead of Giovanni. And now he's going to have a chance at passing Ewan. He has a fantastic exit. Does he, or I should say Nico, he's going to be trying to pass, but I don't think he's going to be close enough as of yet. As the gap is closed between Lifeboat and Jesler.
Very close out in front. Owen looks to be the faster Haas driver at the moment, pushing Nico through turn number 11 and almost pushing the Sauber into a spin. If he didn't qualify so badly down in 15th, he would probably be right in this lead battle. Going to send it up the inside. Sem picks up a corner cutting penalty, but through Bender turn 12 we go. Has a little bit of a slide on the exit, and that relinquishes the Sauber to hold on to 7th place for the time being in front. Yasisaki under pressure now from the McLaren of Coolman, and was both of them a little bit offline going through turn 14.
Yeah, but he's absolutely revving those engines out of the final corner as they come down to start the 5th to last lap of the race of what has already been a hectic, a wet and wild French Grand Prix. Through the first corner we go. Marciano is in the top 10. He could be getting a bonus point if he keeps that fastest lap now. As now the gap between 2nd and 3rd is 1 second. Zayn starting to lose ground on Jesler. Meanwhile, Giovanni is still trying to stick around with Ewan. As the back markers started to feel, look at those back markers, 11th to 15th have got 3-second penalties, so I don't think there's going to be much shuffling up the order in all honesty.
Yeah, top 10 could be pretty much decided unless Caracelli can make a late charge through all of those penalised cars. So the battle firmly is going to be fought. Those points paying position. Jess are getting very close to the Haas of Lifeboat down into the turn 8-9 chicane, but not close enough to make a move. Maybe just seizing his opportunity, waiting for the right moment to try and get this lead.
2 attempts now. He's starting to close up. Jesler can feel it. He hasn't won yet this season, but he leads the championship. This is not just for his first win, it's to hold his lead in the championship after Brando's disappearance, allegedly. But he's not going to get the position. He stays behind. He's running out of time. There's going to be 4 laps when they come around to the timing beam remaining. And Nico starting to close up on Coolman himself.
It's a big train of cars from 3rd down into, what is that, down into 11th with Angelo as Nick picks up a penalty.
Yeah, he was pushed off actually.
Position. Oh dear, that's not ideal. For the second McLaren, I wonder when one of these guys inside the top 10 is going to decide they've got to make a move.
He slides around and he gets through. Crazy stuff as Caracelli also makes a move. Thiago Jesler starting to close up, but he can't get it and he's lost a bit of ground to Lifeboat, a mistake through the first corners as Saki's also close to Luca Rapassa, now coming through what's called the hotel corner. I don't know why, it's more near a runway than a hotel. True story, you know, if you've ever been there. I haven't, but I really should, but not for Formula 1. It seems like Thiago and Caracelli still squabbling for that 16th position, but it might become 11th because, as you can see, the drivers ahead have penalties.
Saki could be on the move, close to the back of Luca Rapassa in the Ferrari. The overspeed just not quite enough, not using the ERS. Very close out in front. Jesler, I think, got a little bit caught up behind the Haas of Lifeboat, having to check up a little bit. We're still in the same order we were. Zane, Jesler and Zane trying to mix them both together is very much the cork in the bottle at the moment, still holding on to that final podium position.
Jesler starting to close up on Lifeboat again. This could be a chance into turn 11. Now, what's he going to do? He's going to pull something up his sleeve. No. He's going to wait it out, and I wouldn't mind him. And that's... Oh, Tycho's had a bad crash. Tycho's had a bad crash. Safety car.
Wow, that is so late. It's going to be out for about one lap, isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody pitted because, you know, it's close to the end of the race.
Oh, we've got some kerfuffles down the back of the pack.
Yeah, Tiago gained position, yeah, so... Ignore that, and no one's making the pit stop, unsurprisingly. Actually, I stand corrected. That's who is that coming in the pits? It's Sem. Well, he is wanting to keep his points record intact, so I wouldn't blame him. But I think it might be a bit too late to pit. If it was 5 laps, yeah, but this is not going to really do much. It was still the same order as it was. Just going to have a momentary lapse, it seems, in the race. Momentary intermission. Just a reminder of who we were sponsored by again.
Well, they are a couple of great sponsors, as we spoke about earlier on. GT Omega. You can get yourself some sim racing equipment. Very good sim racing equipment as well. Using the code PSGL at checkout, that is a 5% discount. What about SRC, though?
Oh, yeah, SRC. You can get one-on-one consultation with Brendan Lee, of all people. If you don't know who he is, well, have you been living under a rock in the past 7 years? Probably have. Yeah, you can get advice from Brendan Lee. You can get mega setups, fantastic strategy advice, even engineers helping you. So go check it out. PSGL code for 10% off your order. So exciting times. Exciting times. We're getting sponsored by all the big names. We're almost getting sponsored by and Large from Wally. I know.
I'm just going to leave that there. Safety car in this lap, though. We're going to have a 2-lap sprint for the victory. Jesler was very quick before the safety car came out, running out of laps, though, to try and get this first win of the season.
So, pretty much, it gives chance for Zane to close up to second place again and see if he cracks under the pressure, does Jesler, but it's still pretty much nothing much change other than Sem just going back into the pit. It's just the same old game, just reduced by a couple laps by that safety car intermission after Taicho's crash, because it is, you know, they were all on the same tyre anyways. So Lifebout is going to have to do again. He's going to be under the pressure of having to reset this field. They're all bunching up. When's he going to go? Is he going to go at the same place? No, he's going now. He's going now. Or is he? Yes, he is going now. Here he comes then. 2 laps to go here at Power Card to decide our winner tonight, and there's a lot of kerfuffling back there. It seems like a massive bottleneck, but here we go again. Crossing the line, you can't move until you cross the line. Ian needs to make up some positions if he wants to nullify that penalty, and it doesn't seem like he's going to. Trying to get behind Nico, but it's not working. Jesler, meanwhile, has battery, and he has to get through. They're going to be using all the battery here. They've all got 100% to start with, so they've got to be very careful how they use it. Jesler starting to close up, trying to take his first race. Stop Lifebout from winning the trifecta. Luca Rapassa starting to... Yeah?
Oh, no, you go on. I was just going to talk about Lifebout, but if Luca Rapassa's involved...
Luca Rapassa is in 4th, and he's starting to lose ground to Zane, but here we go, the top 2 starting to close up. Jesler runs out of road, though, to make a move.
Lifebout's been in control for this whole race, but suddenly looks a little bit uncomfortable. If you look at some of the steering inputs that it has to be making, a little bit wobbly at times. The rear end seems to be struggling to hold on with only a couple of laps to go. And Jesler smells blood, you would imagine.
Jesler does smell blood, and he's right in there. Turn 11, he's going to do something. Up turn 11, he's got the energy. He's thinking about it. No, he backs off. He can't find anywhere. Lifebout shuts the door. So we're running out of time now. This Jeslar, he needs to find a move to take the W, his first of the season. And Tiago get the penalty, but he's right in last place, so it will do absolutely nothing to the result. And there's Luca Rapasa looking for a move for the podium spots. But he is not going to get there soon, and there's a yellow flag. That is Tiago, who just got a penalty, and he is going to be out of contention now. So here we go, the final lap. Jeslar starting to close up, but I don't think he's got enough room to do it on the straight. No. Through they come the chicane. And Luca Rapasa, that's a mistake! That's a big mistake from Lifeboat. Jeslar sees an opening, sees stars in his eyes, but is he going to see the checkered flag first? That is about to be answered right now. Zane and Luca Rapasa are still struggling for that final spot. Angelo's losing position. He's got a 8-second penalty anyway. I don't think it's going to matter much. But now, Jeslar has to put it all on the line. No slacking now. It's now or never. Here they come. Down the Mistral Straight. Jeslar is using his energy. So is Lifeboat. But I think Jeslar has more of an advantage. Jeslar, he needs to go now. Here he comes. Into the inside. But no, Lifeboat has the edge. He stays ahead. That might have been his chance there. Lifeboat. He's still got another chance. He's still got another chance coming in through Cygnus. He's going to get the inside. What is Lifeboat's response coming through Cygnus? He's going to stick with him. Stick with him, he does. Oh, he's collided. He's collided. They come through. This will be Zane and Luca Rapasa in the picture. Through the corners they come once again, and they're still side by side for 30. Oh, there's a slide. They've collided. Now it's 4 ways going for the battle. They're 4 wide. Who's going to win it? It might be 5. As Lifeboat's lost it. Lifeboat's lost out. Zane and Jeslar to the finish line. It's all loose. All on the line. Jeslar's going to survive, I think. But here comes Zane, here comes Yasusaki. Oh, Jeslar got penalty! What? No! Zane has won! Why has Jeslar got a 5-second penalty? What did he do?
Leaving the track and gaining an advantage, overtaking off the road. We didn't see who it was. I think it was when they were 3 wide with Zane, I think it was, when Lifeboat was getting bunted over to the left-hand side and falling into the pickets off the track. But it is the Red Bull of Zane from the depths. Who wins?
I have absolutely no idea what's just happened. We don't even know who's won. Jeslar's got a penalty. It was 4 wide to the winner, as Zane's using levitation tactics. That'll be disqualification. But the podium is Zane, Yasusaki, Luca Rapasa. Jeezy peeps.
Wow.
That might be getting removed. I've just been told that might be getting off the board. No comment from Jeslar.
Well, we do have our final order, though. We think Jeslar might get reinstated, dropping down into 10th, but it is Zane who wins from Yasusaki and Luca Rapasa. Coolman just off the podium. Brilliant recovery from some sketchy moments early on. Lifeboat ending up in 5th place was the big loser right at the end there, struggling to keep it on the track. Giovanna, good recovery from an early spin. Ale Marciano with the fastest lap in 7th ahead of Owen, Nico and Jeslar down in 10th. We don't know whether that will get changed or not. Further down, we had a few retirements. The 2 Williams had a bit of a stinker. Darth FIFA and Tito retiring earlier on in the race.
So there you go. These results will be extremely provisional. Please do not just take these with a pinch of salt. We're going to have to do a lot of work in the stewarding office to determine who's won that one. But I think it might be Jeslar, unless something has happened.
Well, it was the 5-second penalty was for overtaking off the track, so I mean that one you would imagine is fairly black and white.
Yes, because remember, I think Sebastian Vettel moved on Jenson Button when Germany 1 year. He made the move. Either he made the move or he pushed it. I think he made the move on the outside of the track, and he got a penalty, lost his second place. But it didn't stop him because he still won the championship that year somehow.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll report back soon, though, because next week it is Portimao.
Yes, Portimao in Portugal needs to come back on the calendar, in all honesty.
It is, it's certainly a very fun track to drive in the game. The races in real life were mixed. The start in 2020 was fantastic, and then it sort of evened out a little bit. 2021 was a bit meh, and we haven't seen it since, of course.
Yeah, that's quite sad, really. But yeah, we'll see if we can get it back on the calendar. But then again, yeah, you just witnessed madness in a nutshell.
Very much so.
But we'll be back next week, of course, with all the actions to say. We don't know who the winner is. If it's Jesler, he leads the championship. If we exclude Brando, who's now in F1, Lifebout will probably consider himself robbed of the victory. He had pretty much had all the aces in his hand, but it was not enough to win him the race. The chaos that is given to you in PSGL, it can change it in a matter of seconds, and that is the beauty of motor racing, they say. Unless you're watching F1, seeing Max Verstappen win week by week. Oh, wait, Max didn't win? Wow, that's weird. I didn't expect that. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching. Check out GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre to get lovely little discounts thanks to the code PSGL. And we will see you next week in Portugal with me and hopefully you, T-Dub. Are you available?
Oh, I don't think I am.
Oh, no, now
I
you
might be
see
away.
it. Oh, wait, where?
Well, that's private information. That.
Oh, I see. You're going to test the new F1 car for 2025. All right,
Yes,
I will.
that's it.
Oh, darn it, I've ruined it now. Right, see you next week, guys. Thank you for watching. Good night to you.